What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. I unfortunately forgot to do an intro for this video. I also forgot to go over all of the OEM Nissan parts that I used in this video. I guess the footage got lost. There's a lot of footage that got lost for this video, and I've been looking for them and I can't find any of the clips that I know that I recorded, so I'm kind of bummed about that. But thankfully I didn't throw away any of the boxes. So first we have the sleeve and hub set, this one right here. Secondly, we have the bulk ring. Bulk rings these are. And then lastly, we have the shift fork. And I have the old shift fork in here because I ended up comparing the new one and the one that was already there, and they didn't look very different at all. So I have a shift fork if anyone wants to reach out on Instagram, and you guys can reach out to me, and if you guys want this, I will send it to you guys for the right price. So let me know, and that's the part number for it. Hop into this video. I hope you guys are enjoying this series because I'm having a lot of fun. I'll see you guys at the end of the video. We are back. So let me catch you guys up to speed of what's going on. So on the transmission, when I put the third synchro in, it wasn't lined up very well, so, and I don't know if I showed you guys it or not at this point. I don't really remember, but I actually ended up cracking the hub on the hub and sleeve, so I ended up having to get another one of those, which just came in. That is what we're going to be installing today. I think shift 4 bolts, and this is hub sleeve, yeah, sleeve hub set. So that is the part number. All right. So where was I? Okay, so we're gonna get that hub and sleeve on, and we're gonna reassemble the entire shaft again. And I'm hoping to get far enough to start putting the transmission back together, because if we can get the transmission back together and start putting the adapter kit, which we got the full adapter kit here. Alright, so we just pressed this in, which it's nice and smooth in there. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is get this bearing set on here. Before we do that, I'm going to actually clean the inside of this, make sure that there's no dirt or sludge or anything that can cause it to bind. And I do have some Redline manual transmission fluid, GL4. It's imperative that you use GL4 in these Nissan transmissions and not GL5, because the GL5 on the brass synchros will actually cause them to get a little bit softer as you're driving. So GL4 is definitely the way to go. I got 4 of these just to make sure I could fill up my transmission all the way. You only need 3, but I just got 1 more just in case, because you can never have enough of these on the outside of this as soon as we get this pressed in. So the needle bearings will have something nice to spin on, because the last thing you want to have is the needle bearings to get dried and make contact with each other. Alright, so what we have is we have the gear puller, the small one, above the space that we're gonna put the bearing on, and then the gear on right above it. Make sure everything clears. Have to drop down a little bit lower. Alright, so initially we got this on and it didn't look right to me. There's a little bit of space here. I put the needle bearing on and I put the synchro pack on, and everything was flush, but it didn't look right to me. So went back in the press and pushed all the way down, so now it is nice and flush, which is what we want. I'm gonna open this. put the bearing on, it will slide on nicely and not have any friction. Bear in mind, guys, this is all covered in fluid, like fluid encases all of this, so it's not needed, but I don't want to scorn the cylinder wall when we install the needle bearing and put everything back together. It's gonna be the best way of doing this. Just put a light coat on the outside of this all the way around, and then we're also gonna put it on the inside of the needle bearings as well, because these roller bearings are what help the synchro pack move around. Hub and sleeve can transition from the 3rd to 4th gear. Also, I'm trying to remember that these little grooves right here have to go into these little slots so that when they move back and forth, this will keep the synchro from too much movement and it will fit flush in there. There we go. Finally dropped. There we go. So now we're gonna make sure the synchro, cool. So now it goes downward and there we go. Okay. So that's all in now. So now for the finishing touches, I believe this goes on and that gets pressed on right there, and then this that gets pressed on right there. So back to the press. I'm just gonna be happy enough. There we go. Let's give it. Oh, there we go. Cool. That should be all she wrote. Oh, no. Oh no, what happened? That's never a good thing when it does that. Oh god, what did we just do? Something big. What just snapped? Try to move on after that. I don't know how we're gonna be able to do that because that really actually scared the crap out of me. But alright, on to the next thing, I guess. Alright guys, so we finally got this piece on and this other piece, so I pressed both of these pieces in and they look very flush, which is good. And we have movement on both sides. Both gears do move. This one moves a lot freer than this one, but I'm also going to put some of the gear oil into this slot where the fork goes, so that when the new shift fork gets on, it'll be nice and smooth. Let's go ahead and start reassembling everything, because I think that is the only thing now that's left to do. Clean everything, because I mean, might as well while we're here and have everything open. I'm going to be using some FIPG, which is a Toyota gasket maker, and the reason why is because I kind of want a little bit of Toyota in the Nissan, so to speak, which is going to be really cool and really funny. We got an OEM Nissan part, and this is the synchro for the 56 main shaft, I believe. Yep, that looks about right. It's like the one we broke, so it's the last thing we need. I'm trying my absolute best to catch you guys up on what's happening. So we finally got the counter shaft in. I realized that what you had to do was push the main shaft back a little bit, so that as soon as you pushed it back, it gave room for the hub and sleeve to be able to slip by and lock into gears. And so now I'm rotating the bottom and the top is moving, which we have to flip this around, but basically when the main shaft moves, the counter shaft moves, which is nice. So going back together in the slot they need it to be. So I'm just gonna start from one side, go to the next, and just kind of go all hand tight. All of them are somewhat snug. I don't want them to be super snug, just somewhat snug. Now we're just gonna go around and tighten all of them up. Make sure they're flush. Seeing all this come together. Flush. And the way I like to put them is if the bigger roll pin, if the slot is facing down, that slit right there, you don't want it to face the same way as the other one inside it.
Alright, so that's our
Tic Tac goes in the slot here. We have to push this hub in. So I went ahead and measured this diameter, which this is 2 inches. Got an exhaust pipe. So this is way more tubing than we need, but for 10 bucks, I couldn't really pass it up. It fits over this perfectly, and it even fits over this indentation that's right here. It's kind of like a lip, which is really nice because then we can kind of give it a little bit of a push to get this in nice and smoothly without hopefully doing too much damage. Alright, so now we're gonna put this C-clip onto here. There we go, cool. Alright guys, so this is probably, to me, this is probably one of the most important steps that you have to do for putting this thing back together, and I don't want to get it wrong. So basically you have to put it in a sequence, and you got to make sure the sequence is correct. Alright guys, so we are now at the point where the transmission is all put back together, give or take. It needs one more snap ring, but I need to put the bell housing over it in order to snap ring on. And then there's one more 10 mil that needs to go on the other side of the bell housing for the windage tray. So this RTV sealed packing. We put a nice thin bead around the edge. If we can do this one time for the one time. It's going down. There we go. So we're gonna actually rotate it to the other side. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty, casing is on for most part. I think I heard that magnet that was in there, I think I heard that slip. So I'm not too worried about that, but that does suck because it's probably chilling on the windage tray. This one's just the ugliest, so I don't really want to have it out in the open, just so no one sees it. Alright, so just... being hand tight and no more. Tight. Alright, so now that all of those are nice and tight, I'm gonna go around. It's not really a torque wrench, but I got this torque converter, which is really cool. But we're gonna go ahead and just put a 3/8 on it that's an extender, so that we can get as much swing as possible. So now we are at 20 pounds torque, so we're gonna follow the same procedure. We're gonna go right in this, on the inside one, get lined up. There we go, cool. So now that's all at 20. That kind of looks like I'm gonna drop it. Nice. Alright, so we're putting this right here. That one started, and the other one started now. And I will. There we go, cool. Push for me. See if I can put back control I can. Cool. And also I'm really excited to be able to put the shifter housing on this and see how it goes.
It really raises the risk of you cross-threading it, so take your time. And then the other side, spring. This spring's pretty long. That's because it has to reach all the way to the top. This piece goes. I'm only going to put one just because I'm probably not going to use this shifter.
Don't want that to be flying out. 4 bolts, okay, cool. That, the gasket is able to line up with everything. For those of you that are screaming at me saying, why aren't you replacing things? This right here was just a rebuild so that I could make sure it works. This transmission was working beautifully before the 5th gear went out. Everything was nice and smooth. 3rd gear was kind of sticking, which is why I did the 3rd synchro. That's kind of the reason why I want to see how everything feels for start, and then after I get the feeling of making sure everything is working where it needs to, then I'll go back and I'll take everything apart and put everything back together with OEM stuff. So I guess that's the end of doing this whole project, which I'm extremely happy on how this thing turned out. It still blows my mind that I was able to do all of this. It's far from done, but it's back together, and I'm going to, I guess in the next video or the video after that, I'm going to upload installing the shifter from Osborne Engineering and making sure everything goes into gear, and spinning the input shaft to make sure the output shaft spins the same way and there's no weird noises, because if anything's going to happen, I want it to happen now, and I don't want to put it in the car and have it happen then and just be really, really dumb. So I'm actually going to do what Adam LZ does. No, I'm just kidding. For some reason, every single time I watch other people's videos, I see like the things that they do. Obviously, I want to take the best of what everyone does in their videos and kind of, you know, put it into my videos. It's just the style that they have, and I want my own personal style too, but like, you know, things work. Things sometimes just work the way that they do, and it works. A lot more people are going to start doing it. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Definitely join the OHANA, because we are just growing and we're going to be growing non-stop. So just jump on the Shaka Squad, jump on the train. Hope you have a good rest of, you know, whatever you're going to do. Never forget, guys, always stay positive and stay true to who you are. Shoots.